Years passed. The Ninja Empire had come to operate covertly alongside some of the world's governments. Although the pursuit of terrorists seemed to be never-ending, there were still many various and glorious triumphs. What was it that was the very root of all evil? It was hard to pin down. Yet it existed, and continued to sprout anew around the globe. Was it the doom of man that he could err so thoroughly and so intensely? Defenses and circumventions danced round each other in a deathly tango. Evil was ultimately pointless, for it assured its own destruction. Alexander the Great, Mussolini, and so many others and their movements all came to untimely ends for their misdeeds. Rascal had by now risen to the rank of Field Commander, Level 8, finding the missions a complementary relief to the theoretical TOW analyses. The Coast Guard was already boarding a freighter that had been stationary a bit too long when the ghastly glow of the Ark of Ascension lit the night.
The mission has been aborted. By Field Command? No, by Number 1 West himself. Look away, fly higher, the shock wave will be less. Then head west, the winds will blow the radiation eastward. It's gaining on us, Rascal, sir. We're not gonna make it. Both engines are now out, radio gone. The electromagnetic pulse, secure for shock, that's the worst of it. Get us on a glide path out of here.
The engine won't last long, not enough oil pressure.
The Master had a while ago picked up the blue phone to Number 1 East, half a world away. She had the launch codes, yet another fail-safe mechanism that had been insisted upon by the top generals. Halfway around the world, she jumped out of bed and raced for the control room. A brief conversation ensued in which neither gave any hidden meanings to convey that either were under duress. The Master, not known to be a nervous man or a smoker, picked up a cigar from his desk and lit it. He'd kept there as a constant reminder of the former and dwindling conspiracy menace, and drew in several long puffs. The Master knew the drill. 12 suspect cities in the Middle East and the Orient would soon be no more, among them Damascus, Beirut, Islamabad, and Baghdad. The transponder finally showed ready, and the Master did what he had to do, sending the tickle that would awaken the sleeping dragon. Rascal ordered his team off the doomed jet, he to jump last, as leaders do. Each and all parachuted out the door as he took this last moment to radio his last report. Many Homo sapiens would die and die this day, all over the globe, from this pretty much prearranged plan that had been engaged. Rascal landed. No one was about. He walked on in the dark, noting the old moon holding the new one in its arms. "50,000 years ago, Mr. Elder Sapiens, well nigh almost 30 years old, sat outside the shelter as twilight ended, noting that the moon was pale and sickly, dim and feeble, much as he felt himself. 'Twas not the best night for the hunter sapiens to be out, but the ever-present worries bred by these ancient times had won over his weariness, halting, if only for a time, his vitality from slipping away any further. The crescent was brightening, as best it could, and he half slept for a while. Then a dragging noise in the bush brought him to life. They were back, hauling a carcass. If there was danger about, he would have waved them off, but there was none, so he waved them on. No one had eaten much but leaves and berries for the last 5 days, except for infant sapiens, who feasted on mother's milk. Elder pointed to the dying moon and then to himself, but the younger sapiens motioned that he was fine. Many tens of millennia ago, their communication had begun, faint and ethereal, only within themselves, as symbols forming and connecting. This eventually led to gestures, preserved even to this day, as when people talk, along with their hands, even while on the phone. Grunts and simple references followed, then the basics of language. The moon set and the Homo sapiens gathered round, friend and family, the night enveloping them, as evolution continued to sift the best from the rest, as ever it had done through death, our ancestors waning and waxing in strength. About 50,000 years later, around 1100 AD, Omar Khayyam, a rebel among the Islamics of his day, would write about the moon. About 750 years later, Edward Fitzgerald translated it into English verse. However, it never appeared in his published Rubaiyat, but had remained in his notebook. Be of good cheer, the sullen month will die, and a young moon requite us by and by. Look how the old one meager, bent and wan with age and fast is fainting from the sky. The global ninja empire will decide whether to neutralize nuclear launches, and perhaps even the whole country of origin. A complete breakdown of all electronics will be caused by a giant electromagnetic pulse, EMP. The implications of such an event will be enormous. Phones will not work. There will be no way to find out via the internet what happened. All electricity will stop, etc.